In the United States, thousands of parents work long hours, chasing bills, chasing stability, chasing survival. But sometimes, in that race, they lose the moments that matter the most. Today's story is a reminder that one message, one small voice, can change a parent's entire life. Please be aware, this story contains emotional content. Mark Wilson lived the typical American grind in Dallas, Texas. It was a life of long shifts, long bills, and even longer nights. He constantly told himself, "I'm doing all this for my family." But the hard truth was, he was losing the little boy he loved the most. One evening, his wife Sarah waited for him at the door, her expression heavy. "You missed Ethan's award ceremony again." Mark let out a long sigh, the weight of the day pressing down on him. "Sarah, I didn't have a choice." Her reply landed with a quiet, devastating finality. She said, "Mark, your son is collecting memories, and you're not in any of them." That night, Mark lay awake staring at the ceiling, a profound sense of guilt slowly suffocating him. The words replayed in his mind, each one a small crack in the foundation he thought he was building. The next morning, at precisely 5:03 a.m., a notification buzzed on his phone, pulling him from a restless sleep. It was a voice note from his son. With a trembling finger, Mark pressed play. Ethan's shaky little voice filled the quiet room. "Daddy, where are you? You weren't here again? Did I do something wrong? Everyone's dad came yesterday. But you didn't, Daddy. I miss you." Mark froze. His heart didn't just ache. It felt like it was physically breaking inside his chest. The realization crashed over him, cold and sharp. He whispered to himself, "I'm losing my own child because I keep choosing work over him." He listened to the message again and again. Tears didn't he know he was holding back began to slide down his face. Hot against his skin, he got out of bed and walked into the living room. There was Ethan, sitting quietly on the rug, clutching his favorite dinosaur toy as if it were a lifeline. Mark knelt beside him, his voice barely a whisper. "Buddy, why did you send me that message?" Ethan looked up, his eyes filled with a sadness no child should ever carry. He whispered back, "Because I thought maybe your phone listens to me, even when you don't." That single sentence stabbed deeper than anything else ever had. It was a child's simple, heartbreaking logic, and it shattered Mark completely. Without another word, he pulled his son into a tight hug, holding him as if he might disappear. "I'm here now, buddy. I'm so sorry." Ethan's voice was muffled against his shoulder, a painful, innocent question. "Daddy, do you still love me?" At that, Mark broke down. The walls he'd built around his heart crumbled into dust. He held his son's face in his hands and said, "More than my own life." In that moment, everything changed. Mark reached for his phone, the source of so much distraction, and turned it off. No calls. No work. "Today is just for you." Ethan's eyes, which had been so clouded with doubt, widened with disbelief. "For real?" Mark managed a watery smile. "For real." They went to the park. They ate pizza on a bench. They played catch until their arms were tired, and they laughed. It was a sound Mark hadn't heard from his son in Munsafri. Genuine, joyful laugh. At one point, while they were resting on the grass, Ethan looked at him and said something that both broke Mark's heart and began to heal it. "Daddy, when you laugh, you look like the dad I remember." That night, for the first time in what felt like forever, Ethan fell asleep on his father's chest, his small body rising and falling with Mark's steady breath. Mark whispered into his son's hair, a solemn vow to himself and to the little boy he almost lost. "I'm done missing your life. I won't let work steal you from me ever again." The next morning, Mark walked into work with a new resolve. As expected, his manager approached him. "We need you for overtime tonight." Mark looked him straight in the eye and finally said the words he should have said years ago. "No, I'm choosing my son," he added, his voice firm with conviction. "I'd rather lose money than lose a little boy waiting at home for me." He walked out of that warehouse with his head held high, feeling lighter than he had in years, with absolutely no regrets. When Mark walked through the front door that afternoon, the sun was still shining brightly. Ethan saw him and his face lit up. "Daddy, you came home before the sun." Mark lifted him into a powerful hug. "I'm going to be home early a lot now." Ethan wrapped his arms around his dad's neck and squeezed tight, burying his face in his shoulder. He confessed in a tiny voice, I thought you forgot I existed, Daddy." Mark kissed his forehead, his own eyes welling up again. "Never. Not for a single second." The months that followed were a complete transformation. Mark was there for every school event, every scraped knee, every homework problem. He read bedtime stories every night and learned to hold Ethan just a little bit longer during their hugs. One evening, as they were cuddling on the couch, Ethan asked, "Daddy, why do you hold me so tight now?" Mark smiled, a sad but grateful smile. "Because I wasted too many days not holding you at all." Ethan just giggled and planted a kiss on his cheek. Mark kept that original voice message from his son. He didn't save it to feel guilty. He saved it to never, ever forget what truly matters in this life. Whenever work got stressful, whenever he felt the pull of old habits, he would play the message. That tiny, trembling voice asking, "Daddy, where are you?" was always enough to bring him back home. This is a reminder to every parent out there. Your child, Dose and T, want your money nearly as much as they want you. Don't let your job steal the precious moments that you will never, ever get back. If this story touched your heart, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel for more content that matters, and share it with someone you know who might need to hear this message. Remember, family always comes first. Thank you for watching.